Hello Pokemon fans and welcome to Epic TCG Journey. In today's video we'll be looking at Charizard EX deck from Obsidian Flames. So what is so special about Charizard EX? Well, definitely its powerful Infernal Rain ability, which says when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you might search your deck for up to 3 basic Fire Energy cards, attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like, then shuffle your deck. Additionally, with Burning Darkness attack for only 2 energy cards, Charizard EX can hit for 300 plus damage counters, depends on how many prize cards your opponent has taken. Theoretically speaking, when our opponent took 5 prize cards, that attack does 330 damage, which means that Charizard EX can pretty much one-hit knockout anything in the current meta. With only 2 energy cards, it hits for 180 in the early stage of the game when our opponent have 6 prize cards left. But with 330 HP and Darkness type, this Charizard EX will pretty much shut down new Max, and I'm 100% positive in that. We're probably not going to see that much new Max being played. Probably everyone will try to build Charizard EX and try to get the best possible deck list with it. The version that I decided to play in this video is with Charizard VSTAR, and I'm gonna talk about Charizard VSTAR in a moment. But also, I'm playing this version of Charizard EX with another Charizard, and it's Charizard from the Pokemon Go and Charizard Radiant as well. So what is so special about Charizard VSTAR, you'll probably ask yourself. Well, definitely VSTAR power ability. I mean, it's the attack. It costs 4 energy cards, and you're probably just gonna say, well, it's 4 energy cards, you're not gonna waste 4 energy cards to hit for 320, that's even not enough for the one-hit knockout against Charizard EX. That's correct. That's a good point. You're right, but there's a catch. With Vitality Band, theoretically, you can increase that damage for 10 more, and then you can hit for 330. And you must discard 2 energy cards from this Pokemon. That's also true, but there's a catch. This VSTAR Charizard has 280 HP, and Charizard V have 220, meaning that Charizard EX in early game, it cannot one-hit knockout Charizard V, neither Charizard VSTAR. It needs to go for 2-hit knockout. And that's very important because you can one-hit knockout with Star Blaze if you get lucky with that Vitality Band. I also play Vitality Band and Arven in this build and Lumineon, so you can theoretically get that pieces ready. Depends on how well you can set up on that turn number 1. But there is also Charizard with the Burn Brightly ability from the Pokemon Go. And this Charizard is actually very important for this deck because each basic energy fire attached to your Pokemons provide 2 fire energies instead of the 1, and you cannot apply more than 1 Burn Brightly. And you can also, theoretically speaking, hit with 2 energies and exchange only 1 prize card knockout with the Charizard from the Pokemon Go, which could also theoretically be decent play as well. But when you have Charizard with the Burn Brightly in play, your Charizard EX can attack for only 1 energy card, and then you can attack with Charizard VSTAR with 2 energies on it, and you can only discard 1 energy from it. And then if you manage to score the knockout with 330, you can take, for example, 180 or 240 damage, 250 maybe from opponent Charizard EX, and then you can explosive fire for like 230, and then you can just knock your opponent Charizard EX either way with Radiant Charizard, or maybe return knockout with your regular baby Charizard, which is really, really cool. And also I'm playing Radiant Charizard as well. With Radiant Charizard in this deck with Burn Brightly Charizard, we don't need to wait until our opponent take 4 prize cards. If our opponent took 3 prize cards, even if they took 2 prize cards, we can attach 2 energy cards on the Radiant Charizard and we can already hit for 250, which is really mind-blowing because it's an enormous amount of damage that this card can do. It can pretty much knock some cards like Lumineon V, Miraidon, Magnezone V, Lugia V, Arceus V, for example. It can cause a lot of damage. Obviously, I'm playing also one Manaphy with the Wave Veil in this build, which I'm probably just gonna try to ignore in the future. Who knows? It's good against Radiant Greninja and the Lost Box decks, obviously, so that's the reason why I need to have it. And also, I'm playing 2 copies of Bibarel as well, because with the Bibarel, once during your turn, you might drop cards until you have 5 in your hand. So let's move on to the trainer cards and let's see what do we have as well. We have Battle VIP Pass. We have Capturing Aroma, so we can pretty much, with those cards, try to set up fastly. We do have also Nest Ball. We also have Pal Pad, which help us to search some supported cards, shuffle some supported cards from discard pile back into our deck. There's also 4 copies of Rare Candy for the best possible consistency. Also 1 copy of Super Rod. 4 copies of Ultra Ball, as well as 2 copies of Artazon and 1 Collapsed Stadium, which can help us to remove heavily damaged Pokemon from our bench, or maybe to just get rid of the Lumineon, for example. Also, we do have 1 copy of Arven, because with the Arven we can search the deck and fetch that Rare Candy, as well as Vitality Band, which can be very important to hit for 330 damage in the mirror matchup. Also 2 copies of Boss's Orders, 4 copies of Iono, 3 Professor Research, 1 Vitality Band, and 8 regular Fire Energy cards. And that's pretty much the deck list. Deck list is provided in my video description, just in case if you're looking forward for it. So let's see how good this Charizard EX deck really is in the matchup that I'm gonna play. Just in case if you already didn't, please consider subscribing to the channel for more future videos, hit the thumbs up and support the channel by subscribing. I will really appreciate that and say thank you if you can do that. So let's do the game test so we can see how this deck works in action, so see you in the game. So, Charizard VSTAR, it's gonna be our heavy hitting VSTAR Pokemon, obviously. Because with Charizard VSTAR, we can hit for 320 damage. Which means that if we add damage modifier like Vitality Band, that damage can be increased for 10 more, and theoretically speaking, we can hit for 330 with it. And surprise and one-hit knockout our opponent, Charizard EX. So that Mew fetched Battle VIP Pass for my opponent, and right now he will be able to search the deck for 2 more basic Pokemons and put them on the bench. I have probably a decent play, since I have that Fire Energy available in my hand. I think I'm just probably gonna retreat onto that Manaphy and play Battle VIP Pass for like 1 Bidoof and maybe 1 copy of Charizard V, and then drop the Iono. But who knows what I can top deck? I mean, theoretically speaking, I can maybe top deck something even better, like another Battle VIP Pass, and then I just keep maybe my Charmander in the active, and then I'm just not gonna bench the Manaphy because it's gonna be anyways useless card. But theoretically speaking, you don't want to trade your Charmander typically for, knockout if you don't need, basically. So I'm guessing I'm just gonna pay that retreat cost and retreat onto Manaphy after I play that Iono. Hopefully I can get maybe 1 more Charmander in play just in case. Looks like I cannot, but okay. I'm gonna throw Arven, to be honest, and gonna grab myself a 2nd Charmander so I can put it on the bench just in case. And I would retreat to my Manaphy and pass the turn. I mean, theoretically speaking, I could just retreat down to my Charizard V, absorb the damage, and stay with him in the active position, just in case if my opponent can Rare Candy into Charizard and hit to avoid the knockout. But I'm just gonna try to preserve that Charizard V and try to evolve into Charizard VSTAR, so I can potentially hit for 330, which is gonna be really tough. I know that already. And maybe just, you know, stay alive and maybe even hit for 330 and save myself from knockout on the other turn as well. So there is a Rare Candy for PGO, meaning that my opponent can right now quick search. PGO EX is a really good card. You're gonna see a lot of play from the PGO EX, there's no question about that. Alright, and there's the Ultra Ball. So I do have Vitality Band as well as one Charmeleon plus Battle VIP Pass and Fire Energy sitting in my hand. So theoretically, I can do a lot of good plays at my following turn. One of the plays, obviously, it's gonna be Ultra Ball for Bibarel, and there is another Rare Candy. That's the second Rare Candy that my opponent played. Exactly. So he used one Rare Candy for the PGO EX and he used one for that Charizard, and he have Charmeleon on the bench. Everyone's playing Charizard on the TCG Live. It's just insane how many people, how people like that deck. It is just insane. Okay, 180. 108, that's the knockout. So I can basically right now take the risk. But the problem is I'm gonna need 2 copies of that. It's gonna be super wild for me to get 2 Rare Candies and 2 Charizards. It's gonna be super wild. I mean, I can already see that's just, it is just impossible. I mean, maybe it's not. Let's see how many. I mean, I also need Charizard VSTAR. It's super difficult. I do have like 3 Rare Candies, so maybe we can do something out here. Let's see. Let's first go with the Ultra Ball and see if we can maybe just try to get supporter card. How many supporters do I even have? 3 Research and 2 Ionos. So okay, let's see where we can go from Bibarel Draw. Not far, unfortunately. Okay. I really don't believe that I'm gonna get. Yeah, I'm just gonna Iono. I know that I'm helping my opponent, but it is how it is. Okay. Really bad. Capturing Aroma for Tails, which can provide me a Lumineon. Do I have another Charmeleon? I mean, I guess I can discard Lumineon V. Actually, I do have Super Odds, so who cares about that? Ultra Ball. So for how much my opponent can go? For like 180, 210 max, maybe something crazy he can pull out. I don't know, really. I'm just gonna prepare my bench with another Charmeleon for the following turn. And the only thing I can do is just literally pass the turn. Next turn I can play Charizard EX and I can get that baby Charizard into play and try to get that Charizard VSTAR so I can use my VSTAR ability and knock the Charizard EX out. But after that, my opponent will get the knockout back. And that is something that I really don't like. But it is how it is. At least that okay, there's another Charizard EX. At least that PGO is on the bench, who can provide me 2 prize card knockout without going for, let's say, another two turn waste of knocking those Charmanders and Mews out. Okay, we might even see a retreat and hit with the Pidgeot, but I don't think that's gonna happen. But who knows? I mean, 180. Okay, just as expected. Another Fire Energy. Charizard EX. I only have one Fire Energy card in my deck left. That's insane. Okay, two Capturing Aromas. Hopefully I can hit one Heads. There we go. There's a Heads. And hopefully I can hit another one. Perfect. So I'm hitting for 330, probably didn't expect that to happen. And I can only discard one energy because each Fire Energy is counted as 2 as long as I have Baby Charizard on my bench. Unfortunately, I was not able to pull the knockout turn before, which is probably going to cost me a lot. If he moves down to 3 prize cards, I can swing for 369, 270 damage. Which unfortunately not going to be enough to knock out the Pidgeot EX. And I do have Boss's Order in my hand, which probably means that I'm just going to Boss's Order and hit that Charizard EX on the bench for like 270. That's the best play I can do. And turn after that, I'm probably just going to Iono him after he knocks this Charizard VSTAR out. Oh, he decided to Iono me before I managed to Iono him. Okay. This Pidgeot gives slight advantage to my opponent. I wish I had one more Vitality Band, so I could hit for like 280, but I don't. I have 2 Boss's Orders left in my deck. So, theoretically speaking, if he decided to retreat right now and hit with one of his Charizards on the bench, he won't go down to 1 prize. But if he have Boss's Orders, he could potentially catch my Charizard Pokemon Go Baby Charizard on the bench and knock him out. And then I will be without a energy to attack this turn. So that's the best play for my opponent. He can quick search, and he can definitely do that. I mean, if I am my opponent, I would probably consider doing that, but since I shuffled 3 energy cards back into my deck, and I have 3 more in my discard pile, meaning that I only have 3 energy cards left in my deck, potentially I can top deck one of them, because out of 5 cards, I have like 3 energies left. So there is like there's a decent chance for me to pull the energy top deck. But I'm gonna boss's orders him if he moves down to like price card to 1 price, then I can swing for, if he took 5 price cards, that's gonna be 330 damage. So let's go for that PGO on the bench, shall we? And what I can do here, basically, I can even retreat onto my Charizard, but then I'm losing the game. So I'm probably just not gonna try to do that. I will let my opponent to knock my Charizard EX out, so I can basically take 2 price card knockout and force him to take the knockout against my Charizard EX, so he can move down to 1 price, which basically means that then I can swing for 330 with my Charizard EX, and I can win the game. So, Burning Darkness for 310, and that should be the game. So at the end, I think that my Charizard VSTAR was very it was very important in this matchup, because I was able to take that knockout with 330 damage in early stage of the game, and knock out my opponent Charizard DX. Somehow he was able to respond back with his PGO DX, and he was able to knock out my Charizard VSTAR. But after that, I was able successfully to keep exchanging price cards, and as long as I was able to do that, at the end I managed to win the game. So that's it. That's pretty much the game. As you can see, I mean, I dealt 1200 damage. My opponent took 1000 damage counters. So yeah, Charizard EX is definitely going to be another, I can definitely say, meta top tier deck in the standard format. If you're looking forward to build maybe Charizard EX, you should definitely try out this deck list and see how it works for you. I'm also going to cover some other deck lists with Arceus VSTAR, as well as with the Mew and with the Pidgeot, and see how well and how good those lists are going to be as well. So anyways, before saying your goodbye, make sure to consider subscribing to my channel for more upcoming videos. Stay tuned as well. I wish you all the best, and have a good day till the next video. So goodbye.